So, the MEC for Finance and Economic Development, Lebogang Maile, has just delivered the budget. Now, he is the MEC for Economic Development, as I mentioned, so one would assume that he understands the importance of growing the economy in order to deal with societal issues such as crime, such as health-related matters, as well as education. So many other things are linked to people's ability to have employment. So how can it be that the MEC has allocated 5.5 billion rand over the 2025-26 financial year to social development, and he's only allocated 1.6 billion rand towards economic development? So is he saying that creating jobs and making sure that the economy thrives is less important than handing out social welfare? Now, please don't misunderstand me. The most vulnerable in our society must be supported. We cannot be an uncaring government that is not able to look after the weak among us. But we ought to understand that the best way to do that is not to create an environment where they are dependent on the state. It's not to perpetuate them desiring and requiring social welfare, but rather to grow the economy so that those who can be employed and are of working age can then enter the job market and find work, that manufacturers will be able to produce locally produced products and create employment opportunities, that those who are then able to stimulate the township economy can do that. So how can it be that we only allocate 1.6 billion rand in the 2025-26 financial year towards economic development and a whopping 5.5 billion towards social development? Now let's take a look at those figures over the MTEF. Right? So we are saying economic development will get 4.9 billion over the MTEF and social development will get 16.8 billion. Now, again, I need to underscore this as much as possible. Social welfare and assistance for the vulnerable is absolutely paramount. But growing the economy is what we're supposed to do as well. At least a 50-50 share between the two, or some effort that indicates that economic growth is one of the key issues that will unlock the potential of this province. And so while we do accept and we are really grateful that social welfare will be taken care of, we are rather disappointed that the MEC has prioritized food parcels, which we do believe might actually be linked to the elections that are around the corner and might provide an avenue for the ANC to use that avenue to try and garner votes, that has taken precedence and preeminence over and above growing the economy. I do think we need to take a look at that, and I do believe that the MEC is well aware of the need for economic growth in the province and should have prioritized it more. And lastly, in closing, I mean, he gave us almost the same as a department called eGov. I know you probably haven't heard of that. It's one of the, useless is maybe a strong word, but it's one of the less impressive departments that is tasked with providing broadband connectivity in townships and schools and the like, which has failed dismally to provide that broadband. Many people in Ikasi labs, many people in schools and other areas have not gotten that broadband and have had to find mitigating factors or alternative sources of connectivity, and yet that department got 1.4 billion. I mean, let me make sure that I get those correctly. Yeah, they got 1.5 billion. Remember, economic development got 1.6. They got 1.5 billion over 2025-26 financial year. And while economic development got 4.9 billion in the MTEF, they got 4.8 billion. So basically, Lebogang Maile says economic development is just as important as that what some might call useless department of eGov is.